Well, WWE fans, Vince McMahon is in trouble yet again, and I'm here for it all. From SA to HT to hush money to threats. It's all mess, but as I always say, fear the living because they are most dangerous than the dead. Anyway, I'm trying to make it out there on the YouTube algorithm. So if you could just hit that subscribe button and like this video, and please leave a comment down below. I would love to hear what your opinion is about on this topic. For the diehards of WWE, I know this is heartbreaking, and most of you, if not all, will defend this man's action by always doing what human beings do most: victimizing the victim. Remember escaping Diddy, the R. Kelly phenomenon, and Jeffrey Epstein orgy island? This is kind of familiar to this. The difference is it happens at workplace. Those who thinks he is invisible and out of touch with the world, and an employee seeking for a better life and security for herself. Vince McMahon is the chairman and CEO of World Wrestling Entertainment, also known as WWE, a global renowned entertainment company primarily focused on professional wrestling. McMahon has been a key figure in the wrestling industry for decades, known for his business acumen, professional promotional skills, and on-screen persona as the authoritative figure in WWE storylines. He's also involved in various other ventures, including sports promotion, film production, and philanthropy. World Wrestling Entertainment is a professional wrestling promotion and entertainment company known for its global reach and iconic wrestlers. Founded in 1952 as Capital Wrestling Corporation, it later became the World Wrestling Federation (WWF) before rebranding as WWE in 2002. WWE produces weekly television shows such as Raw, SmackDown, and NXT, as well as pay-per-view events like WrestleMania, SummerSlam, and Royal Rumble. WWE has a massive fan base worldwide and has had a significant impact on popular culture through its wrestler storylines and multimedia ventures. WWE superstars are the professional wrestlers who perform for World Wrestling Entertainment. These athletes entertain audiences around the world through their in-ring performances, character portrayals, and storylines. Some of the most well-known WWE superstars include John Cena, Dwayne Johnson, also known as The Rock, Stone Cold, also known as Steve Austin, or Steve Austin known as Stone Cold, Hulk Hogan, Randy Orton, Roman Reigns, Charlotte Flair, Sasha Banks, and many others. These superstars often have unique personas, signature moves, and catchphrases that make their fan favorites and contribute to the excitement of WWE programming. Now to the hot topic of January come February, right? WWE founder Vince McMahon is under federal investigation surrounding ST allegations. Sources say the revelation comes after a former employee sued McMahon last week, alleging she was a victim of SA and trafficking at WWE. I don't think I should even be saying that loud. McMahon resigned from the WWE last week after a former employee, Janelle Grant, accused him in a lawsuit of inflicting psychological torture and physical violence while making depraved Zeg's demands in exchange for her continued employment. The lawsuit accused McMahon of trafficking grants to other WWE employees and included graphic descriptions of alleged encounters along with explicit text messages. And honey, if I tell you it is explicit, it is explicit. They are really those messages that when they come out and you are involved, like let's say Vince right now is involved in this, he should be hiding his face. I promise you. Anyway, you can pause and read all these messages because, honey boy, you want to know what is in these messages. And also, the lawsuit is out. It took me 24 hours to read this and digest it. It was long, gruesome, traumatic. Let's continue. McMahon has denied Grant's allegations, of course, what else can he do, and said the probe won't find any wrongdoing. But as the saying goes, where there is smoke, there is fire. And in rumors, there is some truth. WWE knowingly took part in these allegations and benefited from them. McMahon purchased what would become WWE in the early 1980s from his father, Vincent J. McMahon, and took the company from regional power in the Northeast to a national and even a global power in the wrestling business over the next 40 years. We all know people with money have power. And with power comes with a lot of unheard of fetishes, and McMahon is no different. I remember telling someone that this guy looks like a living his fantasy. Like whenever he walks up that stage, he loves the way he's adored, worshipped, and all that. So he's living his fantasy. He is so out of touch with the real world. It's scary. But he said to me, he is a performer, and I stopped talking. It is always said, whatever someone says as a joke or in anger about you, that is what they always feel and think about you. So performers, not all, okay, but most live the fantasy world, and with money and power, they always think that they are invincible. And I feel that is how Vince McMahon felt. And don't make any mistake, he still feels that way. There is much a person can take, to be honest. To the allegations which were made. The allegations which were made as part of the lawsuit brought by Janelle Grant in Connecticut's U.S. District Court are not the first time McMahon has faced high-profile claims of abuse. Remember, I said he's in trouble again? In 2022, McMahon temporarily resigned from the role he then held with the WWE following a Wall Street Journal report detailing millions in hush money. Remember, I said there was hush money before? Allegedly paid out to keep secret allegations of sexual misconduct and infidelity. WWE's board investigations found over 16 years, he had spent over 14.6 million. Other articles say it's 10, others say it's 20, so it's still debatable. No one knows the exact money, but he spent that much in payment to women whom he had accused him of sexual misconduct. Okay. A second internal investigation revealed an additional $5 million paid to two women. McMahon, for his part, denied that any interaction he had were non-consensual. As always, it's always consensual. What? Isn't it what they say after they've been caught? I thought y'all had expensive trousers with expensive zippers. Why must you unzip them where they are not needed or wanted? McMahon was also accused of essaying a Florida tanning salon employee in 2005. He was arrested by Boca Raton police and charged with sex battery. But prosecutors declined to move forward with the case. Now, this is where power comes in. Despite the multiple scandals, McMahon, who owned the bulk in WWE shares, returned to the company in 2023. And I remember him coming back. He came back to introduce John Cena coming back into WWE. I can't forget that day. Miss Grant, by the time of their meeting for employment purposes, had lost her parents, who she was their sole caretaker. Now, this is now the time that Grant and McMahon come together, like they get to meet. And it is said that McMahon and Grant met via Grant's friend, who saw how Grant was really struggling to find a payable job. So this friend of hers introduced her to McMahon, and I don't know where the friend part goes because the friend is not talked about, and I think the friend also should be investigated because this is a friend to McMahon, so it obviously means that he or she knows what McMahon is all about. But I digress. In all these meetings, Vince McMahon sexually harassed her. As all groomers' tactics, he used her soft side to get to her. McMahon listened to Miss Grant, asked her questions, and pointed out qualities that he described as rare gifts, including her goodness, vivaciousness, childlike innocence, and ability to be vulnerable. All these things that made her an easy target to McMahon. And also, McMahon started initiating like long physical embraces with Miss Grant, repeatedly telling her that he trusted her, that he can be himself around her, and how he'd opened his home to her and told her that he also viewed her as a true friend. Now, as a person who has been groomed, I tell you that the words "I feel safe around you," "I can be myself around you without being judged," "I trust you," "my home doors is always opened for you," is a trap. It is a way to make you comfortable and extremely, extremely vulnerable. And that is what they want. That is the goal. If you notice these things, your friend is going through this, or you personally is going through this, kindly take action. Now, in the wake of all this, he offered her a VIP ticket to WrestleMania, which to her proved that truly Vince McMahon had good intentions for her. She had gone through a dark time in her life, and now there's a light at the end of the tunnel. In every meeting they had, Vince McMahon would remind her of how when they first met, and this is written in the lawsuit, that he will never forget how helpless she looked when they first met, that he wanted to wrap his arms around her and assured her that everything is going to be okay, and that Miss Grant's problem were in the past now. As a this guy is just a classic groomer, as a classic groomer that he is, a classic groomer behavior. He told her to keep their closeness a secret because people talk and it will turn into a scandal. Okay? And when it turns into a rumor, it turns into a scandal, and that is bad for his reputation and for her as well. Okay, I want you to know this. I was told that if I tell anyone about what we had, I'd be arrested. I am an 11-year-old kid. I will be arrested and move over. My family will not believe me. And also, if I tell anyone, that's the end of me. I'll be reprimanded, rejected. And he was not wrong. I had nowhere to go and no one to talk to. So he won. Vince McMahon also threatened her that he had the best attorneys on speed dial for those who stepped out of line. And in this case, it meant her. The textbook, it's a textbook evidence of a groomer. The text evidence are incriminating to say the least. You can pause to read, as I said before, read them at any time you want, but to be honest, I fear people. What makes me so mad at these people is that they have kids, they have female children. McMahon has Stephanie. Stephanie has a kid who is 17 years old as we speak and is also a girl. I wouldn't trust this guy even when he could have been my father. I wouldn't trust him with my child. WWE superstar Mick Foley even spoke out on his podcast calling the allegations ugly before adding, I feel very similar, and I quote this, I feel very similar, just like that dead inside feeling the way I had in 2007 after Chris Benoit murdered his wife and his 7-year-old son and later on unalived himself. Now, Triple H is Vince McMahon's son-in-law. And when he was asked about the allegations about his father-in-law, he assumed it and just said, I quote, new beginnings at the company. He also said that they are going to do exactly what you expect me to do here. End of quote. When asked what measures they are taking to ensure that female workers are safe, he replied, and I quote, everything possible. What is everything possible? Everything possible means you are even going to go there and fire them because you don't want scandals. When asked if he had read the lawsuit, he said he hasn't and does not want to be weighed down by negativity. Wow. Okay. This didn't sit well with the fans who were very disappointed. Honestly, I didn't expect much from him. I did not. And in fact, I just expected him to pretend like that didn't happen and didn't never even give a conference or anything of that sort. But I didn't expect much. He has a lot, not only through his hard work, but also via the marriage to Stephanie McMahon. The lawsuit also include I'm struggling over there, Brock Lesnar, and I promise you, there are names that if by any chance come out, I'll say, well, I knew it. There are these like auras that even if you try to hide it, it still comes out. And when I read Brock Lesnar's name, I was just like, what's new? What's really new out here? Because everything just seemed like they can't escape this, So it didn't really feel new to me. It didn't come as a surprise at all. He allegedly exposed himself on a backstage. An expose on Reddit was made but later on was deleted after it exposed how women employees were being mistreated, which was later on deleted because apparently Triple H, an executive in the is it no is he no, is executive vice president, I think, had threatening remarks in the locker room, and that to me is like a threat. Like it is that I don't threaten you directly, I threaten you indirectly. If you know yourself, do something about it. And I promise you, I will not be surprised if an employee comes out and just expose Triple H and all his skeletons. I will not be surprised. Now, the loss of Grant's parents took a toll on her. Despite that, she wanted to get a payable job, as I said before, that had security. Her neighbor, who say that they knew or went to school together, recommended her to Mcmahon. They had a meeting and Mcmahon told her that he will change her life. If only she knew it was for the worst. The meeting became frequent as Vince McMahon would invite her to his condo to discuss her recruitment. On another twist I never saw coming, like just someone put a stake right to my heart now. I've had it with these like rich people, like I've really had it. Now, there is this guy, I don't know how to pronounce his name, Laurinates, whatever you're doing, your name is dude. He now claims that he was also a victim of Vince McMahon, not a predator. This dude is cuckoo. I tell you, like, yeah, this dude is really cuckoo. His lawyer said, and I quote, power, control, employment supervisory capacity, dictatorial over both of them. In Grant's lawsuit, she mentioned that reliving her experience through interview with investigators had made her PTSD even worse. And believe you me, I understand her to a T. Now, remember in the beginning, I said he is in trouble again? Okay, now get this. In 1992, former referee Rita Chatterton, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but I love that Chatterton. I love that name. She was the first female to come out publicly accusing Vince McMahon for the R word. She was the first, and this was in 1992. It is 30 years plus, if I'm not wrong. Oh, I'm getting old. I'm really getting old. But let's not be blinded by all this. I for sure know he resigns, but still runs and controls the WWE. He is the founder for crying out loud. Now, it is said that no publicity is a bad publicity. Remember, they had a $5 billion deal for Netflix. Yeah. Now, there is WrestleMania coming around, right? And this scandal has taken over WWE's comment section in a way upper management they surely do appreciate. Yeah, remember there's a WWE match that is coming up where Dwayne Johnson is going to be there taking on Roman Reigns for the WWE Universe title. I don't know why he's still holding that title until now, but anyway, I digress. Now, words are also coming out that the NDA that they made Grant, not they, but he and Lau something made her to sign, I don't know why I'm saying them, might have been drafted even without the WWE Universe executive knowing about it. Now, sources say that now a lot of women who have worked on WWE and are still working on WWE company are now coming out to share the story. As I said before, one voice can change a lot of things. Now, the lawsuit has a lot in it that are, listen, this is traumatizing. I don't know why I never cautioned you guys earlier. I should have done that, but this is really traumatizing for those people who have gone through such kind of things. It is really traumatizing to relive, because these things, they seem to be the same. These guys always have the same tactics. So when you hear someone telling their story, you relive it because it is traumatizing. Let me just tell you, I read this thing. When the lawsuit came out, I really ran fast to get it. And when I read all those things, I said it took me 24 hours. It could have taken me like maybe 6, 7, 8 hours to read, but it took me 24 hours because I was reading this thing. And bad luck, or I don't know, unfortunately for me, I was relieving whatever it was, because I looked at myself and I did put myself in her shoe, and it is traumatizing. I ended up crying and I almost thought of deleting my research. One day, just one day, I will tell my story, and just one day. So I almost deleted my research because it was tons. I was reading tons and tons and tons of articles. And every time I was reading these articles and also the lawsuit was out, I was on my wits' end. But regardless, she represented most of us by not being silenced. She represented us directly and indirectly. Well, we shall see what happens. I hope he gets what he deserves, because all his misconduct has come home to roost. Yeah? Chickens has come home to roost. We will see how the lawsuit is coming along, and we will see how things are unfolding. For now, let's just say the chickens has come home to roost, and y'all have a blessed time. Thank you so much for tuning in, and may God bless you. Y'all are amazing.